Welcome to the end of our project celebration day. My name is Simon Marot Tulong. I'm original from South Sudan. I'm joining in from Kampala right now. I am the advocacy coordinator at the Global Refugee Youth Network, and I will be the MC for today. So we have some exciting and surprising plans for this celebration. So before we continue, this session has interpretation provision. So we're going to interpret in English and French. So if you can only speak French, you go to the French. If you click, there is where there are 3 buttons just at the bottom of your phone or maybe your laptop. So today is our day. It's a day for you. It's a day for us at Green, and a day for all the RYLOS that are joining us globally. Each one of you organize great activities in your respective communities. And these activities were exciting, and they had a lot of impact for the refugee youth that you served. This was all possible because of your community involvement, your commitment, and we look forward to following you in your future endeavors and also seeing your projects grow. It has been a long journey working with each and every one of you. You have encountered difficulties that you have turned into successes. And with the help of your fellow youth and your communities, every challenge that you face has actually been turned into an opportunity. So today will be a day about sharing the accomplishment, the challenges, the lessons that we have learned, the best practices, and most importantly, recommendations on how we can work in the future together. So these are all from you. These are the things that you have shared with us during the project implementation cycle. So it is with pleasure to end this cycle of our project celebration with you today. It was a pleasure working with you all for the first few months. And we look forward to identifying future opportunities and areas in your own communities in order for us to bring sustainable solutions for the youth that are living in your own communities. So our agenda today is, we'll have overview of the project cycle, the RYLOS, and then we'll also have feedback from the RYLOS, which I'll have a few videos, a video that is actually made from the RYLOS experiences by the team at Green, and then some questions and answers will be followed. And then we'll have entertainment because it's a day for us to celebrate.
Je m'appelle Ibrahim, je suis originaire de la République centrafricaine et coordinateur de renforcement de capacité pour le Global Refugee Youth Network. Et aujourd'hui, nous allons un peu explorer ensemble les travaux que vous avez accomplis jusqu'à là. Et cependant, j'aimerais tout d'abord souligner que ce programme a été lancé l'année dernière et dans le but d'aider les organisations dirigées par des jeunes réfugiés à développer leurs capacités, à renforcer aussi et promouvoir l'autonomisation de jeunes réfugiés afin de s'entraider, mener aussi des initiatives pour répondre aux besoins de leur communauté et aussi plaider au niveau local, national, régional et aussi mondial pour le changement qu'ils jugent très important. Et le principal résultat du programme du financement du réseau mondial des jeunes réfugiés pour l'année 2021-2022 sont les suivants. Tout d'abord, je voudrais un peu vous présenter les thématiques sur lesquelles vous avez travaillé. Sachez que vous avez travaillé sur plusieurs thématiques de façon générale. Nous avons reçu à peu près 22 demandes pour l'appel à projet. Sur les 22 demandes, on a reçu à soutenir 22 projets. Et ces projets-là sont dans le domaine d'éducation et de la technologie. Donc, vous allez constater sur le slide 25% de projets financés sont dans les domaines de l'éducation. Ensuite, on a le moyen de subsistance aussi 25%. On a la santé 9%, la santé mentale aussi. On a le programme basé sur la protection, le développement et l'employabilité de jeunes femmes et filles. On a travaillé aussi sur le changement climatique et l'énergie renouvelable. Ainsi, on a travaillé sur la jeunesse, l'art et la culture, l'intégration de personnes en situation de handicap. Donc, vous allez constater à côté, il y a les pourcentages sur l'ensemble des projets. Et voilà, donc ça, c'est un peu les projets sur lesquels vous, en tant que jeune leader, vous avez travaillé. Sachez que ça n'a pas été facile aussi de sélectionner. C'est des projets aussi à fort potentiel. C'est des projets aussi qui sont vraiment innovants et qui ont vraiment soutenu les communautés. Next, please. Donc ici, j'aimerais vous présenter un peu, voilà, en général, ce projet a réuni à peu près 2755 jeunes, dont 51% des hommes et 47% des femmes. Et aussi les personnes qui ne souhaitent pas spécifier leur sexe, on a 1,5%. Donc, si vous constatez, il y a quand même l'équilibre entre les gens à ce niveau-là. Next. Donc, j'aimerais aussi vous partager un peu les statuts des personnes déplacées. Donc, on a un diagramme à côté qui représente, par exemple, 1963 réfugiés et on a 480 demandeurs d'asile et 312 la communauté haute. Donc, en termes de pourcentage, vous allez constater 71% de personnes réunies, c'est des personnes réfugiées, 18%, c'est des personnes demandeurs d'asile et 11%, c'est des personnes, par exemple, de la communauté d'accueil. Next. Donc, j'aimerais vous partager un peu les informations sur la situation, par exemple, en termes de la participation en fonction d'âge. Donc, nous avons 57% de participants ayant entre 18 et 30 ans. Et nous avons aussi 21% des personnes ayant entre 15 ans et 18 ans et 13% de personnes ayant plus de 15 ans. Et enfin, on a 9% de personnes ayant moins de 15 ans dans le cadre de ces projets-là. Donc ensuite, next, j'aimerais partager aussi un petit diagramme qui représente un peu les personnes vulnérables. Donc la vulnérabilité, sachez qu'aujourd'hui, dans le cadre de ces projets-là, donc 49% de personnes sont vulnérables. Donc ici, vous allez constater sur ces diagrammes, donc on a 375 personnes, c'est-à-dire les mères célibataires. On a 228 personnes, les survivants de la violence, les survivantes, pardon, de la violence. On a 216 personnes, les mamans célibataires qui ont moins de 18 ans. Et on a 204 personnes, les personnes qui représentent aussi un handicap, c'est-à-dire les personnes handicapées. Et on a 124 personnes, le survivant de la SGBV et 97% l'ethnie minoritaire. Donc après, on a 73% de personnes, 73 pardon, personnes ici qui représentent c'est-à-dire autre vulnérabilité. Donc on a 39 personnes le LGBTQ+. Donc ça c'est un diagramme qui représente un peu les personnes en termes de vulnérabilité. Next. Donc ici, j'aimerais aussi vous présenter un peu la situation, par exemple, là où le projet est vraiment implanté. Donc, on a 47% de projets financés qui sont dans les zones urbaines. Après, on a 28% de projets financés sont dans les zones rurales et 25% des projets financés sont dans le camp. Next. Donc ici, j'aimerais vous présenter un peu l'impact, une graphique en fonction de l'impact, par exemple, de nombre de participants. Donc ici, vous allez constater le projet, par exemple, qui a réuni beaucoup plus de personnes. Donc ici, vous avez le projet Women and Children at Risk. Donc ces projets-là, juste un exemple qui a réuni à peu près 750 personnes. On a d'autres projets aussi qui ont travaillé avec plus de 250 personnes. Donc, c'est-à-dire, nous avons le groupe Botanica et on a aussi le groupe Assorted Ambassador of Christ. Donc, ces projets-là, c'est des projets qui ont réuni plus de 250 personnes. Donc, ça, c'est un peu, je vous représente un peu les graphiques en fonction, par exemple, de participants. Next.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you here. My name is Farida Rwanda. I'm the coordinator of gender and diversity at Green. Today, I want to share good practices and lessons learned from RYLOS. Many RYLOS shared similar good practices that helped to make their project impactful. One of the good practices, the first one is some RYLOS have brought in external expertise, and that has increased confidence in the programs offered and helped to build capacity of the RYLOS and the participants. Second one, many projects created ways for young people to get to know each other and to work together through different activities like sports, cultural activities, learning, and community action. The projects proactively broke down tribalism and racism and contributed to strong and supportive links between communities and peace building. The third one, projects have been gender inclusive and have involved both men and women in different types of activities, and they have learned to work together in diversities. Incentive pay have been implemented in some of the projects led by the RYLOS to motivate the group members to work seriously and to be much more active. And the fifth good practice, partnership with key actors like the local authorities, religious leaders, and other organizations have supported the RYLOS in follow-up, implementation, evaluation, and monitoring, and have given confidence to the members. And these projects contributed to learning and capacity building in new areas like mental health in an atmosphere of trust and safety. Many RYLOS also experienced similar challenges that they encountered in startup and implementation of the projects, such as the following: inadequate or delayed funding due to difficult budgeting activities, the changing exchange rate and inflation. In some cases, this limited the number of participants. Difficult with documentation, especially receipts for small purchases, also have been encountered. The third one is communication problems due to language differences and poor network. Also, in adapting implementation of activities to meet the needs of participants, like mothers with young children, to ensure they can participate fully. And the last challenge was lack of appropriate materials or equipment like computer materials, photo camera, and laptops.
Okay, yeah, as I said, my name is Elia Chigiriza, and I represent the organization called Women and Children at Risk. Yes, with Women and Children at Risk, we implemented the project that we called Tunaweza Badilisha Maisha. So, and the project involved to share rabbits with our beneficiary, rabbits that they will start raising at their home-based location for the purpose of earning some income out of it. And we reach out to 40 people during the implementation. They receive each one 2 rabbits, a male and a female, and a cage with other material that can help them to rear a rabbit at their place. But for this recent 2 months, we we try to continue with the project with our own possibility, and one by one we reach to other 11 people that we visited, and we see that they can also participate in the project. So in total, I can say that the project up to now has involved 51 people. Yes, well, most of things are worked properly. The implementation was smoothly, and at this level, I think that I can just thank you for the opportunity given to make an impact in the community.
Thank you very much, Women and Children at Risk. And now we can hear from Tawakali Group.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ayan. I'm the project manager. And actually, our project was all about women empowerment on the GBV side. GBV, capacity building and counseling. So actually, we have targeted 60 women and girls, but then we came up with this idea of including men and boys too, because they are the perpetrators of the GBVs. So actually, it was 15 boys and around 45 girls.
Yeah.
It was 3 months project. Every week we used to do, and every Saturday we used to come actually, because on the weekdays everyone is busy. So we used to do on the program on Saturdays, every Saturdays for 3 months. So you used to come every month for 3 Saturdays. The other month, 3 Saturdays. That's why it was from March to May, somewhere there, because on April we had Ramadan and then we break it and then we came back to May and then we finished the project.
Thank you very much for the great work you're doing, Tawakali. And now we can hear from Groupe Déjeuner Sportif.
Donc, je suis le cofondateur de USGR, Union sportive des jeunes réfugiés, qui se situe présentement au Maroc. Alors, notre projet était dans le domaine sportif et on a utilisé aujourd'hui donc le pouvoir de l'esport afin de créer une cohésion sociale et de renforcer la capacité entre les jeunes réfugiés ainsi que les migrants et les Marocains. Alors, on a pu à peu près avec ce projet toucher au maximum 150 personnes, donc qui sont des personnes en situation de danger et qui sont des vulnérables au niveau du Maroc, y compris les réfugiés, voire les migrants et les Marocains dans les quartiers défavorisés. Alors, on a utilisé aujourd'hui les sports. Pourquoi? Parce qu'il y a une certaine barrière aujourd'hui au niveau régional entre ces personnes-là. Et on a trouvé pour créer un dynamisme entre ces jeunes et une relation entre les réfugiés ainsi que les migrants et les Marocains. On a analysé, on a trouvé que la solution c'était aussi par sport. Et du coup, on a mis ce projet en place. Et logiquement, ce projet a porté ses fruits. Comme vous l'avez pu constater sur les images et sur les vidéos dont vous avez reçues, on a pu créer cette entente-là entre ces jeunes réfugiés et les migrants ainsi que les Marocains. Alors, l'avantage aujourd'hui avec les sports, cela a permis de traverser certaines barrières et certaines limites que les gens en ont dans la vie, surtout au niveau des communautés subsahariennes qui se situent au Maroc et les Marocains, parce qu'il y a un blocage, puisque tout le monde a ses limites. Les gens n'arrivaient pas à se surpasser cette limite-là. Et aujourd'hui, à travers les sports, on a pu constater que ensemble, on peut bâtir un avenir meilleur pour les jeunes et de demain. Et à travers les sports aujourd'hui, certaines de ces jeunes ont eu l'occasion et l'opportunité de s'entraîner dans des clubs qui leur permettra bien sûr d'ici dans l'avenir probablement pour réaliser leurs rêves. On a utilisé les sports pas simplement dans ce but-là, mais aussi pour attirer l'attention des jeunes aujourd'hui par rapport aux dangers, surtout que les migrants et certains réfugiés traversent ici au Maroc. Comme vous l'avez pu constater, Maroc, c'est un carrefour aujourd'hui pour les jeunes pour migrer vers l'Europe. La plupart de ces jeunes, ils prennent des risques aujourd'hui. Ils prennent la mer afin de traverser pour aller en Europe, en espérant qu'en Europe, ils vont avoir un avenir meilleur. Alors que moi et mon équipe, on a pu réfléchir. On a dit, aujourd'hui, si on arrive à créer quelque chose qui permettra à ces jeunes de retrouver confiance en eux et de voir qu'ils ont la capacité de faire quelque chose, même étant sur place au niveau de Maroc, pourquoi pas? Et on a lancé le projet. Donc, grâce aussi au financement de Green RYLOS, ça nous a permis aujourd'hui de redonner l'espoir à ces jeunes-là qui ont probablement à un moment donné perdu l'espoir, qui ont juste l'objectif de traverser et d'aller de l'autre côté. Et ça les a permis aujourd'hui d'avoir des clubs à s'entraîner. Donc, du coup, probablement d'ici dans l'avenir, peut-être probablement, on verra certains de ces jeunes-là dans certains clubs qui vont s'évoluer. Et ça, c'est ce qu'on attendait. Ce sont ces résultats-là qu'on attendait afin d'avoir plus d'impact sur les jeunes, surtout les migrants et les réfugiés au niveau de Maroc, puisque l'afflux des jeunes migrants et les réfugiés au niveau de Maroc sont énormes. Parce que de jour en jour, vous trouvez des jeunes qui essayent de traverser le désert et de venir au Maroc en espérant traverser pour aller vers l'Europe. Sauf que ce risque-là est vraiment très important. Et si je pense qu'aujourd'hui, si on arrive à créer un réseau au niveau de Maroc qui permet à ces jeunes de voir autrement leur objectif et de prendre les responsabilités en main et de s'intégrer, je pense que ce serait la meilleure des solutions et cela pourrait apporter un avantage aujourd'hui par rapport aux jeunes. Parce que je pense que les jeunes, aujourd'hui, ce sont l'avenir de demain. Si on n'arrive pas aujourd'hui à canaliser nos jeunes, je pense que demain, on ne pourra pas avoir des hommes responsables qui peuvent diriger.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, groupe de jeunes. So thank you so much, everyone. It's a great pleasure to have the great managers. Everyone is a manager here today. It's not just because we have some like few managers who represented all of us, all the managers in the house, but everyone is a manager, and you guys, you did a great work, everyone. Just because of time, we cannot have everyone to share the experience, but all the experiences are great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Farida. It's really great to be here today with everyone. Apologies, I think it's becoming dark on my end, but you can hopefully see me. I'll just be sharing some quick feedback. We've seen from what Ibrahim has shared, as well as just the statistics around the great work, all the RYLOS did, as well as the challenges they encountered, and also the progress that they were able to make. Apart from all the things that you experienced, one of the crucial things that we were also looking at was feedback, and really just understanding from your experience as well, what feedback do you have for us, and also what feedback can we give to you. And we took all the feedback you gave to us, but we also have to share some of the feedback we had for what that we experienced as we were working with you. The first one being, as we were working, we noticed that some RYLOS had difficulty filling out the financial report, calculating purchases according to the currency received, and converting it with the rate that they had received. So this was something that was really important. We noticed that many RYLOS were struggling and missing that small detail of just converting the currency and sharing their report to match the currency, the amount that they had received. The second thing we also noticed was that some RYLOS did an excellent job on reports. And I think it's really good. We just don't talk about the challenges, but also the positive things that worked. So some RYLOS did a very excellent job mentioning all the little details, paying attention to key details. If they received feedback on corrections, that they were also able to, in the next report, include some of those feedback that they received. However, there were some that were very brief and did not give enough context in terms of what they had been able to do, the work that they had been able to accomplish. So this meant that this didn't give us a lot of visibility on all the work that they were doing, despite that many of you did a very great job, which I think cannot be expressed in words. But when you were looking at the reporting, would say something such as, please provide as much as possible detail in 200 words, in 500 words. Others were not really able to do that, but they provided some context. And I think it's really important to sell the excellent job that you're doing. At any point, if you're working on a project that is changing the community, you also have to ensure that you're able to really bring out all those different aspects of the great work that you're doing.
Hi, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here at this amazing celebration. And just to have all of us together is something really special. I'm Kate Mahoney, and I work with Women's Refugee Commission as an advisor and mentor and a support person for GRIN. Women's Refugee Commission is an international NGO that's based in New York, actually. And its mission overall is to improve the lives and protect the rights of women, children, and youth displaced by conflict and crisis. So since 2014, and even before that, we've been working with and for young refugees to research the needs, identify solutions, and advocate for programs and policies to strengthen resilience and to really try and drive change in humanitarian work and how it's done. And young refugees like yourselves have told us over and over again that the best and really the most effective thing that humanitarian organizations like UN agencies and big non-governmental organizations, the best thing that we can do is to partner with young refugees and support them, to run your own initiatives, to take your ideas and bring them to life, to do research yourselves and to advocate and voice what you think is important and to make recommendations on what you think needs to change. So in order to do that, we're partnering with GRIN, and our commitment is really to help GRIN grow and evolve to become eventually a fully independent refugee youth-led organization. And along the way, to support GRIN to fund and support other refugee youth organizations, RYLOS, like yourselves, to implement your great project ideas. We currently manage some of the funds that come in from donors just because we have the capacity, the administrative capacity to do that. And the administrative support to put in place the contracts with the project managers in order to facilitate payments and get funds out there for your amazing projects. And as far as I know, this is actually sort of the first time that an NGO has done this approach, like contracts with project managers to channel funds to support refugee youth-led initiatives, regardless of whether organizations are registered formally or not. This is a way to get funding and support to your initiatives. And this is I think this mechanism has created trust, it's created accountability, and it's really enabled GRIN and WRC to document also the amazing work that you're doing and thus in the process that we put in place to make it happen. This is the first time we've done this, so we had a lot of learning along the way. But I think all of us at WRC, as well as the GRIN team, and hopefully you too, have learned a lot. So I just wanted to share photos of some of the people behind the scenes, like the team in New York who are doing payments and accounting and bookkeeping, who really believed in this project, this whole initiative, and have done a lot of, work here and there. It's not glamorous, but it's what's been making it happen for you to get these contracts in place and to get the funds transferred to you. And we appreciate their support. And I just want to say all of us at WRC are extremely proud to be part of this collective effort that all of us have been part of, and to have had a small role in helping to facilitate your amazing projects. and your achievements. But I think I also want to be really clear that this idea and the drive to fund and support refugee-led organizations to run these projects, that has come from GRIN. That's come from this team at GRIN. And this whole RYLO project fund has come from them. And our role at WRC is really to support that and to help make it happen. And we're very pleased to have been part of this and very, very proud. So we want to help continue to work with GRIN to publicize your achievements, to publicize the learning that's come out of this, to recommend that we can grow this whole process. And just thank you. Thank you for all your amazing work and for sharing your amazing work. With that.
Thank you so much, Kate, and hello, everyone. I hope you are having really good day, and we are here just to celebrate all the achievements that you have done until now. And as the communications team, we have been thinking how we can celebrate this final part of the different things that you have been doing during the last couple of months. So we have created something really special for you. It's a video. Please check this video, and soon will be available for all of us to remember the great work that you have done.
How do you want us to support you, or how do you want Monicado to support you so that you can go to school?
I want to buy me a uniform.
Life-changing.
Collaboration.
Inclusion.
Empowerment. Equality.
Prolific.
Pour nous, ça a été responsabiliser et autonomiser les jeunes leaders.
Supportive.
Global Refugee Youth Network is empowering.
Green is all about opportunities.
The green experience has been impactful. You cannot imagine how many lives you have reached out. Thank you.
as we mentioned in the video, we are really proud of all the work that you have done. And this is one part of the celebration. We really appreciate everything that you share with us through the images and the videos to let us know and learn a little bit more about how you have been doing your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Laura. Well, my name is Machena. I'm part of the communication team, and today we have a really great activity and dynamic for. Let's try a little bit. First, I want to make sure that you have your pencil or your pen and your sheet of paper with you. Yep. Just to open your microphone and say that yes, or put it on the chat for make sure that everyone has the paper and the pen. Okay. Yes, okay. So today's dynamics will be a little bit fun. And we are going to draw together an animal. It's so good because, but I'm going to be describing. I'm going to give you 5 descriptions of the animal, and you're going to start drawing. And after that, we are going to find what is the animal. So, for example, if I tell you if this animal has a big body, you're going to draw a big circle or a big rectangle. It depends on your imagination. So tell me on the chat if you have the sheet of papers and the pen for start the activity. And I'm going to give you just a minute. I think let's see. Yes? Okay. So let's start. Okay, the first animal, this is the first characteristic. I'm going to start drawing. The first animal has a big body. This is the first one. You can start drawing a big square or a big circle. Okay, the second characteristic is that this animal has a little tail, a little tiny tail. Okay, so the third characteristic is this animal has big ears. And the fourth characteristic is that this animal has really, really small eyes. Now for the last characteristic, big foot. Now we are going to find our animal. You all have in mind what animal is? You can open your microphone or put it on the chat.
Elephant.
Yeah.
Elephant.
Yeah, if you want to share your drawing, yeah, it's an elephant. If you want to share your drawing, you can open your camera.
Oui.
Yeah, it's an elephant. And show your paper. Yeah, it's an animal. I are the same. It's a big elephant. So I think half a minute more.
Yeah.
For this
elephant.
Yeah, it's an elephant. Okay. For the second animal, we have that the first characteristic has a really, really small body. We're going to start with a square. And also has a long, long tail. A big body and a long, long tail. No, it's not a monkey. For the third characteristic, it has whiskers. They are not too long, but it has whiskers. Remember to draw the face or the head. Well,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, yes.
I got to tell. Hello, everybody. My name is Johnson, and I'm a singer and songwriter. I like the platform, and I'm glad that I'll be part of the entertainment today, and I pray it's gonna be an amazing one. So I have one song that I'm going to perform today, and I think it's basically all about what we are doing. It's all about giving strength to each and everyone, like encouraging everybody to in everything that they're doing. You know, we go through a lot, but sometimes you do not have to give up, you know. And this song that I'm going to sing today, I wrote it a few years ago, and I hope everyone is going to enjoy it. Is my guitar on?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. You got a goal that you chase. Well, often you prove yourself wrong. It's known. Sometimes you said you retreat, but your spirit told you keep your head. Well, cause of thorns along the way that you say you lost, but it's no. But as you're still on your way, don't be afraid. Don't say never, never, but hold on. Keep moving on. You tell your story and nobody will believe that it is you. Keep moving on. And surely you can still recall how you've been waking up to go to school. You got no shoes, sometimes no food. No matter what you had gone through, maybe in your childhood you might have grown up poor or orphan. Cause long you're still alive, you go through hard times, then you would say I'd better die. But as you're still on your way, don't go astray. There's not to say never, but hold on. Keep moving on. You tell your story and nobody will believe that it is you. Oh, course, keep moving on. Someday will come and nobody will believe what you've been through. Just keep moving on. Keep moving on. Hold on. Keep moving on. You tell your story and nobody will believe that it is. Oh, of course. Keep moving on. Someday will come and nobody will believe what you've been through. Just keep moving on. Keep moving on.
That was beautiful, Johnson.
Thank you so much, Johnson. Thank you so much for this wonderful song. Indeed, we have to keep moving on. And I think this is a wonderful message for a wonderful group of young people that have actually done a lot. So we say, keep moving on. Keep moving on. Thanks. So we're going to have a brief session for question and answers. In case you have a question, you have something that you need to clarify, you need something that you have to follow up with the green, this is the time. Please put up your hand, then we'll give you the opportunity. So we have like 20 minutes for us to actually ask questions and get the answers for the question that we have been having in our groups. Thank you. Over to you. Anyone with a question?
Please feel free to unmute at any point to ask us questions, just as Simon has said. Any question regarding the project, any comments you might have. We now really want to hear from you because we're celebrating all of you. Simon, back to you. I think Martin has raised his hand. Martin, go ahead.
Thank you very much for this wonderful work. It's Martin Mande. I'm from South Africa and representing the South African Refugee Network. Of course, I just attend this conference, this celebration on behalf of our youth wing, which I think I haven't even seen any of them in this platform. I don't know, maybe because of maybe they have challenge with connectivity. And in South Africa, we are experiencing now what it's called load shedding. So you may be, finding a day your electricity is gone off maybe 4 or 5 times a day, and you may not be able to do anything. Maybe is that. But what I wanted just to find from all the lesson which we have captured here, and I think there was a bit of challenge from South Africa, and especially from one of our projects, which was supposed, I think, to be handled, and I think there were a little bit of what messages which were coming, and I think the project was not completed on time, and that was actually because of the contractor who has been given the space to renovate the facilities, so couldn't complete the facility on time. Now I'm trying to find from your report and capturing, are you still having a window for all those kind of learning or whatever information to come forward, or you have already closed within the collection of all the good practice which have been taking places in different places? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martin, for that question. It is well noted. Do we have any other question? Yes, I can see Genevieve Safari is asking a question on the chat. My question for Green is, moving forward, what should we look out for? There are any future opportunities we should look out for, and if there are, going to consider these RYLOS that you have worked with. Thank you, Genevieve. This is well received.
I think there are also some 2 hands that have been raised.
Kaoma.
So my question is, one of it was already raised by one of our colleagues, but the second will be, I was just want to ask if there is any recommendation provided by the Green team after working with after working with the Green team, if there is any recommendation provided by the team. Thank you so much.
Yes, Abdel Salat, please unmute.
Je disais, je m'appelle Abdelaziz Ibrahim, je suis le du groupe Union sportive des jeunes réfugiés, et ma question est celle-ci. J'aimerais savoir quelles sont les actions qui vont être mises en place par l'équipe Green pour suivre les...
Choncho from Youth Voices Community is asking, as Green, is it possible as RYLOS, we sign an MOU with you guys so that we feel grounded in the network? Thank you, Choncho. So I'll ask our coordinator to answer the first 2 questions. Funny.
Thanks, Simon. Thank you for all of you for the questions that you've raised. I will respond to the first 2. Simon, you can pick the next two, and then in case there's any other one, we can come to that. In regards to all the projects that you're all implementing, if there's any information that you haven't shared and you feel you really need to share this, please do go ahead and share it with us. We'd be happy to just learn more about all that you've been able to do. I know some of the projects were pending and they submitted half information. So for them as well, in case there's any further information you also want to share, please go ahead and share it with us. We've not closed out the window of collecting all this information. What we're hoping to do is that we will put out a report on the work that you've all been doing. And if you're able to share this information between this period, that would really be appreciated. It will go quite a long way. In terms of what should you look, what should you look out for, and are there any other opportunities? I think for green, it's really very important for us to look for different opportunities of engagement or different opportunities that can really support or can really amplify the work that all the different RYLOS are doing. One thing that you can look out for is we're going to be putting out, I think we've already shared this, we're going to be putting together a list of speakers. And what we hope to do with this list of speakers is that in case there's any advocacy opportunity at either the global level, regional level, national level, even local level, that we could be able to share out different young people who have not had exposure to some of these platforms. We're looking forward to supporting the different speakers in different ways, but really ensuring that we really diversify people who are able to contribute to some of the topics, either on education, health, on livelihood. So there'll be quite a lot of different opportunities that come up. And if you feel you really want to take your advocacy to the next level and really participate in different opportunities that will be coming up as they come up, it's not a guarantee that we will always have different activities. You can just share your details with us, and definitely in case there are any opportunities, you'd be able to we'd be able to go to the list and see who, if there's a young person who wants to speak on sexual health and reproductive health. We know we have someone from maybe Nairobi, or we have someone from Uganda, from South Africa, all those different areas. The other thing that definitely you can also look out for is trainings. And these are trainings tailored, of course, to meet the needs of young refugees. Definitely we want to make sure that it's not just about one engagement and then we leave the different young people alone or the different groups alone. So we'll also be trying to put together trainings, not reinventing different wheels, but looking at training opportunities that can really also scale up the work that you're doing. I've talked about advocacy, I've talked about campaigns. There are different events that are coming up, campaigns that we can do together. So that's also another area of engagement. And I think also one practical aspect as well, looking forward, we do have our website and we really want to maximize the website to the fullest. So also looking forward, we're working on how do we also create a space for all the different young people and RYLOS to be able to also share messaging or key things or key topics that are important for them through the blogs as well, where you can publicize all the different things that is really important for you. Simon, do I hand it back to you to continue the next questions?
There's a question from Choncho on the MOUs.
Yes, okay, I can take those ones as well. First of all, there's another question on recommendation provided by Green. Yes, I'll get back to this question shortly. So I'll ask you to just hold your horses just a bit. We'll get to that question on the recommendations. But in terms of, is it possible to sign an MOU with Green? Green right now, we're just about 1 year, 7 months old. So we're trying to make sure that we're exploring different things. I think that's a possibility, but we're exploring how this would look like. Currently, I wouldn't say it's a yes thing. It's something that we need to explore to see how it function and how it would work. But one potential way to ensure that we continue that engagement and we really ensure that there's that consistency. I think once right now we already are a network, and in case there's any opportunities that come up, definitely we will be sharing with the different RYLOS who are focusing on different topics. And I think the speaker list is one of the things that we're starting with, and eventually it will grow out to other opportunities. So this one, it's still in the works. We can't really respond to this fully. And then in terms of follow-ups and checking in, definitely. I think we definitely want to ensure that there's that continuum of engagement, and that there's also conversations happening. And I think we will, for example, we're working on this. This is also something that we've already begun working on. And for instance, within the gender aspect, Farida has already started reaching out to some of the groups that are focusing on gender, trying to see how can they continue to work together to influence policy or to conduct advocacy. So this is something that we will try to also continue and ensure that the different groups we are able to follow up with them, and the follow-up can be in multiple ways. It can be, if you want to get more further advice, definitely we'll be able to see we have that time to do that, but engagement through running events together, participating through campaigns together, working on the blogs, advocacy, and any other thing that comes up, but also just checking in to just check how, since the funding, what are some of the things that have developed? Because I think it's really important that we also take stock of, this is where we were at, this is what the funding has been able to do, and this is where the gaps exist, so that we can also really continue to diversify and improve on some of the things that GREEN is doing. So briefly, those are some of the response that I would give. I don't know, are there any other questions? Back to you, Simon.
Thank you, Fonny. Thank you so much for all the questions. There is also a question, I think, from Umhoza. Yes, the groups that actually got funded in the last cycle, in the new cycle, if you see that, yes, the work that you are doing is interesting, that you really want to continue with it in your own community, please apply. And we'll also use the same criteria and other criteria to select projects. Depending on what you need to do, where you want to also continue, and what you want to continue from the work that you did with the first funding that we got from GREEN. So it's not only restricted to new projects. The previous project can also reapply, and if you are reselected, well and good. So I think it's the same question that was asked by Fidel in French. Fidel from Kenya. He said, "Is it how since you have found out the projects were really very interesting and you want to continue with the work that you're doing, the grassroots, yes. So if you can reapply when we have the call for applications from GREEN, that will be also subject to the same criteria that we used last time. Any other person with a question? There were hands that were up. So I think it was Eli. Eli had put up the hands, and it's also the one. Do we have another question?
I think there's a question in the chat from Gawa. Gawa says, given the rise of the people forced to flee due to conflicts and natural disasters, young refugees around the world will be passionate to intervene in their communities and do a lot, and a lot of refugee-led organizations would also rise. Do you think that GREEN grants would cover more projects going forward if you draw from your current analysis as informed by the great work you're doing across the world? Simon, you want to respond to that? Happy to as well.
Yeah, I think you can take that for me.
Okay, perfect. I think one of the things that GREEN is committed to is trying to see how can we really amplify the different experiences that young people are facing across the world. And one thing I think that we've all learned is that definitely there'll be many young people, there are many young people across the world who are working to sort out challenges they're facing within their community. We might not be able to reach all the young people in the world, but from this particular example, what we're hoping to draw is the lessons that we've learned. How do we take it forward? Take it forward to other donors, other people who are starting to fund refugee-led organizations, so that they can also really see how do they tailor their response or their funding to support the young, the different groups that are coming up, or the different work the young people are doing. From the green funds, we might not be able to solve or fund all the different groups in the different regions. What we can try to do is really look at the principles that we have within green. If the principles align, then we can start supporting them. And support doesn't just come in funding aspect, support can come in multiple ways. And I think for us as green, if we are not able to fund everyone, then one of the things that we can also be able to do is share our expertise, really ensure that we also equip the young people who are responding in their community. So I think definitely what we are hoping for, what is our biggest hope, is that from this work or the pilot that we've done, we're able to draw in more donors who will then really get to see what the practical thing is. And if we get more donors, then we're able to also expand and support many other young people. But for now, what I would just say is that what Green is doing is it's sort of like we're biting, we're not taking a mouthful, we're biting what we can chew, and slowly by slowly, as we work through it, we'll get to a bigger process where we can digest and help quite a lot of many other young people. That doesn't mean just because we don't support by funds, we will not do any the other aspect. Just as I've said, we still have the aspect of critically looking at other engagements, or even sharing and really doing advocacy to bring in more people who will support the different groups across the world.
The other thing I would like to add also to what Fonny has just said is that from our analysis, from the work that we have been doing, together with the young people and the different groups, whenever we see like some a potential, like, or an opportunity, and we try to share it with the young people, they quickly come in and take it up. So the hard work, the proactiveness, and the commitment from the young people, I think it's the one that will make us reach out to so many other groups. Because if we see an opportunity and we say, you know what, okay, maybe Youth Voices community can actually work with this group, or maybe Tawa Kale can work with this group. You people are doing a lot of amazing work, and the hard work that you're putting in, I think it will be the one that will make us reach to so many young people that are going to be that are displaced around the world. So keep up the hard work. And today does not mean that we're ending our engagement. It's just the continuation of the work that we started some few months ago. So recommendation or other opportunities will come in, because there are people who are reaching out to us and say, do we know young people who are in this area? There are young people who are in this place. So when such opportunities come in, and if they align maybe with the thematic direction, the thematic work that the groups that we have been working with, or that we funded are comfortable with, we can be able to actually recommend and share these opportunities with the young people. So it's not only us funding, but also like sharing the good work that you're doing outside there with other groups that might be actually interested in supporting you directly.
I see there's another question from Aziz, and Aziz is saying, the question that he's asking is, we would like to know the difficulties that Green has faced with the different groups in realization of their projects. Maybe I'll share two, and then I'll turn it to the rest of the team as well. Particularly, I'll turn to Laura, who will also share one, and maybe I'll share one, and then the rest of the colleagues, if you have anything, you can come in. I think one of the challenges that we faced as we were working with some of the groups, we understand that there's difficulties in connectivity, and also there's difficulties in how people will communicate, because we're currently working in a remote area. One key challenges that we encountered was some groups were really taking time to respond to requests, or if you're following up with the different groups, they will take such a long time. And if we're not able to get the information as soon as possible, then this means if it's an information that will ensure you get your money on time and there's a delay, that means there'll be a delay. If this communication in terms of we need to understand, you've presented this as your financial report, but there are this question here and there where for some instance there were no receipts and we're following up. Some groups were not also able to respond on time. I think those were sort of like technical challenges that we encountered, but we were able to work through it. I think the other challenges that we encountered, which also sometime was a bit at the beginning, was that in some locations, how groups would receive funding was also a big challenge. So you'd find that this is the information that has been provided, the money is sent to the bank, but then the bank has all these policies and procedures and information that they need. So this also meant that for some of the groups to implement on time became a big challenge. I think those are some of the ones that I could mention. Maybe the last one I would turn to Laura to also speak about is in terms of photos and the importance of it. And then maybe we'll respond to the next question. Laura, over to you.
Thank you, Foni, and thank you for the question. I think something really important that we shared since the beginning and when we sent this call for proposals was finding ways to promote all the work that you are going to do through this process. So in instance, the way to share with people is not just through email or with words. Will be really important to share pictures, videos, and find different ways to show all the great work that you have done. What we find during this process is that a lot of these RYLOS, the refugee-led organizations, doesn't have any type of social media that connects the work that you do with the people around you, the community, or with potential donors. And sometimes we were trying to reach all of you to get really good quality in pictures or videos, and we didn't receive that. But I think it's something that you can learn. Sorry for the background noise. You can learn, and at the end of the day, it's something really special just to teach the people all the things that you are doing. So that was part of the important. For that reason, we have this really good video. For that reason, we have enough information just to share it through social media and share a little bit more about the work that you have been doing. But it will be really important to start to work on that communication piece. It's something that can help to the people to know what are you doing with your community, with your group, but at the same time to give you an idea of how you are improving in all this process, how you start and how you are doing right now and how everything is improving. So that is like make the history through pictures, videos, and photos and all this process more concrete and more visual at the same time. That can help a lot to the people. So that was one challenge, but that can be some advice to all the writers that are here, just to start to work more on social media, but at the same time to have pictures, have good videos with good quality to share all the efforts and all the work that you are doing.
Maybe another important one that I think all of us at Green, all the team that have been working on this, one of the things that we were doing with this, it's a pilot, we've never done this before, and we were trying to prove a concept. We were trying to prove that, yes, you can support refugee groups, whether they're registered or not registered.
D'accord, merci. En fait, je voudrais ajouter juste quelques petites choses par rapport à ce que Fourni a dit tout à l'heure et ce que l'autre là, comment il s'appelle, Simon a ajouté. Donc, sur le point concernant notre groupe, personnellement, je pense que c'est notre première expérience et certainement d'autres groupes aussi. Alors, pour cette expérience, je pense qu'on a dû faire certaines erreurs pour la première fois et on a aussi eu à rencontrer des difficultés. Mais bon, ce qui est à retenir, je pense que On a pu faire le maximum pour atteindre nos objectifs aujourd'hui et toucher la majorité des jeunes et les cibles qui sont concernées. Et je pense que certaines personnes seraient d'accord avec moi dans notre groupe que même si ça n'a pas été facile, mais la plus belle chose, c'est d'arriver à la fin et de réaliser ces activités-là et de voir vraiment les personnes ciblées afin qu'ils puissent profiter de ces choses qu'on a mis en place et aussi leur permettre de prendre conscience du danger qu'aujourd'hui qu'ils traversent et aussi de reprendre confiance en eux-mêmes. Je pense que ça, c'est important. Et sur le point où Fonny avait parlé concernant l'implication des jeunes réfugiés, je pense que ça, c'est une très belle chose par rapport aux idées sur les plateformes. Je pense que cela permettra aujourd'hui à la majorité des jeunes, même après ces activités-là, de voir si possible et s'il y a des opportunités, bien sûr, de réaliser d'autres choses afin d'accompagner ces personnes qui sont en danger ou soit ces personnes déplacées sur les sites. Je pense que déjà, ça, c'est une très belle initiative et cela pourrait nous permettre en tant que...
Thank you, Fonny. Thank you so much for all the questions. There is also a question, I think, from Umhoza. Yes, the groups that actually got funded in the last cycle, in the new cycle, if you see that, yes, the work that you are doing is interesting, that you really want to continue with it in your own community, please apply. And we'll also use the same criteria and other criteria to select projects. Depending on what you need to do, where you want to also continue, and what you want to continue from the work that you did with the first funding that we got from Green. So it's not only restricted to new projects; the previous project can also reapply, and if you are selected, well and good. So I think it's the same question that was asked by Fidel in French. Fidel from Kenya. He said, "Is it how since you have found out the projects were really very interesting and you want to continue with the work that you're doing, the grassroots, yes. So if you can reapply when we have the call for applications from Green." I think, Fonny, I will now pass it over to you. We're done with Q&A. Pass it over to you to conclude and give us the next announcement. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Simon. I think from our end, and I know Farida, Rahil Darius, Bart, Laura, Kate, Ibrahim, Simon, and I, we've really enjoyed this particular process of just learning what your project is all about, looking at your pictures and really seeing the energy, the passion, and the drive that you all have. Definitely we're in person, we would have a big party if that was possible. But at the moment, this is what we're able to do. But we thank you for coming here, first of all, and also for just being able to tell us, no, this is not working, this is working, improve on this one, increase this. I think that's positive feedback that also means we're able to make this particular work much more better. There was a question on the recommendation provided by Green. I think definitely if there's any group who really wants a recommendation, we can definitely work on that and see how to ensure that we give you that recommendation where necessary and if it also still aligns to the principle of Green. But at the moment, what we're able to do right now is just give you something small, which is just a certificate. And with this certificate, what we are re-emphasizing or what we are reinforcing is that, first of all, thank you for the work that you have been able to do. All of you will receive these certificates. You'll receive it by your email. And we're thanking you for your participation in working for your community and responding to the needs of your community, but also being able to represent the different communities that you're part of. I think that's a really important aspect of the principle of Green, that you're able, not only you as a project manager participating, but also working together as a team. The second thing the principle of green diversity and inclusiveness. I think it's really important for all of us who are responding to be aware of the different groups that the people who are within our community. So for all the information that you've been able to provide for us, we've seen how diverse you're working. We've seen how you're trying to make sure that you include everyone, that you're trying to make sure that it's important to capture the information of everyone. So that was also a really great aspect of it. I think partnership, we've also seen that partnership where some groups have partnered with other people, community members, other groups have been able to partner with NGOs, really to take forward the work that you're doing. And I think that's one thing that is really important in this work. We can't do it all alone. We need to work together to make sure that we're able to amplify the work we're doing. The last one, responsiveness and inclusiveness. I think with all of you, meeting your community where they are, and I think that's the most important aspect of this, that you're able to meet your community where they are. We need to understand that in the community, some people will not speak English, so we'll use Kiswahili, or we'll use French, or we'll use Arabic. In some communities, people live in the remotest location, and they might not be able to come to our centers or to the spaces that we're meeting, but we're able to take that message to them. And then in some communities, they're not able to read, and we're able to use graphics, music, art, drama, all that. So with that, we really want to say thank you so much for the great work that you've all done. We appreciate you all, and you will all receive these particular certificates. And we look forward to the next big activities that you'll be doing. Definitely, I think they'll be amazing, and we'll always be in contact. Let's use the different channels that we've set up. And lastly, we will be having the next call for proposal. So as Simon has been saying throughout the conversation, please go ahead. If the next call is put out, apply. If this is something that you really want to do again for the second time, the principle of green is what will guide how we do everything within the next call for application as well. So first of all, I wish you all the best. We'll put out this call soon, hopefully. We don't have a particular date, but definitely this is something that we'll put out soon. And we thank you once again for your patience, for your teamwork. But before we end it, I'm going to turn it over to Simon again, who will then tell us, he's the main MC for this, who will tell us what we're doing. I think we need to take a picture. It's really important to just, if you're able to turn on your video, on your cameras, it's good to see all the faces that have been implementing the projects in the different countries. So Simon, over to you.
Thank you so much. I would just like to say thank you so much for taking the time. All of you have really been very committed. I know you've been struggling with the network, with the internet, and you still go out and come back. So thank you so much. And we look forward to continue working with you. So right now, I'd like all of us to actually just do one activity. We can put on our cameras if you are able to.